Think about this for a second. All those hours you spent learning API docs, webhook structures, error handling, that really hard-earned technical skill you have in AI automation, well, it just became a simple text prompt.
Yeah, it's a pretty stark. That protective moat, the one that shielded specialized builders and automation experts for years, it's just rapidly, almost violently evaporating.
It really makes you wonder, doesn't it?
Yeah.
If the technology itself is being commoditized this fast, what are the non-technical skills? The
Yeah.
high-value business skills you absolutely must master right now, because that's clearly where the premium pricing is going to live.
Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're really digging into this seismic shift. We're calling it the great commoditization of technical AI automation skills.
Yeah, we've been going through some deep source material, really analyzing how these new natural language workflow builders are just collapsing the barrier to entry into this whole world.
So, our mission today is simple. Give you a shortcut. We want to pull out the three absolutely indispensable business skills that, still command a high price, even when the ability to technically build the automation is becoming, well, practically free.
Okay, let's unpack this. We
Yeah.
probably need to start with the specific event that really kicked this acceleration into high gear. We saw M8N launch their natural language workflow builder recently.
And that was the shockwave. I mean, we sort of knew it was coming, but seeing it live, for listeners who maybe aren't building custom workflows daily, tools like N8N, Zapier, they're the standard engines, right? The heavy lifters connecting different software.
Right, and the AI automation specialists, the people we're really talking about here, they spent months, sometimes maybe a year, mastering that technical side. Connecting APIs, setting up authentication, handling the detailed logic flow. That was the barrier. That was the value.
But now imagine a client needs, say, a simple contact form automation. Before, the specialist had to manually set up the webhook, map all the fields, authenticate the CRM API, build the error logic. It was maybe 5, 6 distinct technical steps needing real expertise.
And now?
Now, anyone, literally anyone, can just type, "When someone fills out my contact form, add them to my CRM, send them a personalized welcome email, and notify my sales team on Slack with the details."
And the platform just gets it. It understands the intent.
Exactly. It recognizes the tools, Slack, your CRM, email, figures out the integrations needed, builds the workflow, and crucially, it handles all that complex logic without you needing to know what an API or a webhook even is.
So that specialized knowledge, the stuff that was hard-won, the thing you charged a premium for because it was difficult, it's now accessible instantly. It's moving from being a valuable specialty to just a baseline expectation.
It's a genuinely terrifying pivot if your entire value proposition was built purely on that technical execution.
Okay, so here's the key question then. If technical proficiency is quickly becoming the new baseline, what actually becomes scarce? What commands the high fees now?
It shifts completely. It moves to the business skills that AI, well, it can't replicate yet. Things like strategic thinking, interpersonal intelligence, understanding the business context.
That really sets up the brutal economic reality we need to face here. For years, technical knowledge was that defensive barrier, right? The moat giving you pricing power.
And these natural language builders, they just blew up that moat with a single text input box. It feels so similar to the Squarespace moment for web developers, or maybe Canva for graphic designers. The barrier to entry just dissolved almost overnight.
And when that barrier falls, you see these 4 predictable economic outcomes hitting the purely technical operators. It starts with price compression.
Oh, absolutely. That $4,000 automation, the one that took a week of deep technical work, suddenly it's maybe a $400 job anyone can spin up in an afternoon. So the builder charging premium last year, they're seeing competitors undercut them by like 90%. It's drastic.
Which, of course, immediately leads to margin erosion. Lower prices just squeeze your profit margins. What used to be a high-profit specialized service turns into a low-margin commodity.
And if everyone can deliver the same technical result, you get differentiation collapse. You're forced into competing purely on price. And we all know where that goes. It's a race to the bottom, and nobody really wins that long term.
And the final piece is competitive pressure. New players flood the market because, well, the barrier's gone, minimal technical skill needed. So the pool of competition instantly expands from just experienced specialists to pretty much anyone who can write a clear sentence.
It's intense pressure, yeah. So the new moat, it has to be something deeper than just technical execution. It's got to be about understanding the business, finding those really expensive problems, and designing complete human-centric systems.
I generally agree that's the direction, but
Yeah.
Is it possible we're slightly overstating the speed here? Won't there always be a need for that true, deep API expert for the really bespoke, niche, complex cases?
Oh, for sure. Absolutely. For the top 1%, the super complex edge cases, yes. But the vast majority of the market, the small and medium businesses who pay the bills, they often just need the 80% solution. And that 80% is what's being rapidly automated. That's why focusing on skills that resist automation strategy, human interaction, is so critical now.
Okay, that makes sense. Let's dive into the first of those essential skills then, which sounds, frankly, much harder than mastering code. Problem discovery. The idea that businesses pay you a premium because you diagnose the expensive hidden problems, not just because you build what they initially ask for.
Exactly. If a client comes and asks for X, the amateur builder just builds X. The professional, though, stops, puts the keyboard down, and asks the deeper questions. Why do you want X? What's the real, maybe $10,000 problem you're actually trying to solve here?
I have to admit, I still wrestle with this myself sometimes. Prompt drift is one thing, but just taking the client's stated problem literally, it's often a mistake. It's genuinely hard sometimes to look past the immediate technical request and see the underlying business pain. That's my vulnerable admission here.
It takes real discipline. Think about that HVAC company case study we looked at. The client came to an agency asking for simple scheduling automation. Just handle the daily volume. Seems like a standard request, right?
Yeah, typical. But the professional, the one thinking strategically, didn't just build it. They spent, 45 minutes asking, probing, non-technical questions like, what's the average distance between your appointments? Or how often are you actually turning down jobs on a Tuesday? Things like that.
Man, what they found was this huge, expensive operational flaw hidden beneath the surface. Their techs were driving 30, sometimes 45 minutes between jobs. Why? Because the dispatch system didn't use any kind of proximity logic. They weren't just losing potential jobs. They were draining fuel, wasting technician time, effectively losing 2 or 3 appointments per tech per day.
And the fix wasn't some super complex AI system. It was relatively simple, wasn't it? Like a dashboard and a basic geographical proximity rule built into their dispatch logic.
Exactly. Simple fix, but the business impact, staggering. Jobs per tech jumped from maybe 4 or 5 a day to 6 or 7. That translated to over $1 million in new annual revenue. The value there was like 80% in the diagnosis, finding that hidden operational bleed, and only maybe 20% in the simple technical implementation.
That diagnosis difference is incredible. But how do you even start to cultivate that skill, that kind of listening, that kind of questioning? It sounds so abstract.
Well, it's actually more of a framework. You can approach it systematically. Step 1. Pick one industry, just one. Stop trying to be everything to everyone.
Specialization really is key there, isn't it? Your third dental client is going to be 10 times easier than your first retail client because you start learning the language, the specific regulations, the common operational patterns of that niche.
Precisely. Step 2. Research expensive problems. Really dig in. Spend time on industry blogs, trade publications, even Reddit forums, where owners in that niche are complaining about their operations. Find out what they already pay, say $5,000 a month, to try and fix.
And then step 3, practice pattern recognition. After enough of these discovery calls within that niche, you'll start spotting the same 3 or 4 chronic, expensive pain points popping up again and again. That consistency builds incredible confidence when you talk to new prospects.
So just to reiterate, how crucial is that specialization piece for effectively diagnosing these hidden, often systemic problems?
It's fundamental. Specialization allows much faster pattern recognition, and it lets you speak the client's specific, nuanced language right from the first conversation.
Okay, moving to the second essential skill, demand generation. This is all about converting attention, converting ideas into actual paying clients. Because AI can handle the building now, maybe the basic web design, even some copy, the human differentiator becomes the ability to actually sell a valuable solution.
And the strategy here seems critical. Pick one expensive problem that businesses are already paying, say, $2,000 to $5,000 a month to solve. You're targeting existing budgets, not trying to convince them to spend on something totally new.
Exactly right. Take something like social media management. Businesses routinely pay a human agency maybe $2,500 a month for that. Now, if your AI-powered system can handle, say, 90% of the actual work, the posting, the scheduling, the basic content creation, your cost might only be $200. You could charge $1,500, undercut the agency, and still have a massive 70–90% profit margin. That's real leverage.
Okay, but before you even start looking for clients, you absolutely need a repeatable system in place. That system seems to have 3 core components. First, a clear input process, right, for gathering their brand guidelines, their voice, their goals.
Hmm. Second, the AI workflow itself needs to be documented. The exact prompts you use, the specific tools, the sequence of steps. It has to be consistent and reliable every single time.
And third, critically, quality control. A human review step is essential, checking for tone, brand alignment, accuracy. This is what separates a professional AI-leveraged operator from someone just, copying and pasting raw output from an LLM.
Absolutely. Once that system is solid, there are three pretty fast methods to get that first yes. Method 1, your existing network. But don't just send a weak proposal. Lead with a strong, low-risk offer. Something like, let me run this for you for 30 days for just $500. Focus on proving the outcome for them.
Method 2, local businesses. Offer a free, quick, maybe 15-minute diagnostic audit, focused only on pinpointing one specific bottleneck related to the expensive problem your system solves. Pure value up front.
And method 3, LinkedIn outreach. But make it personalized and value-driven, not generic spam. Something like, hey, I have a system that creates 4 weeks of high-quality, on-brand content specifically for their industry in about an hour. Interested in a quick 5-minute demo?
And the universal key across all of these, it seems, is leading with the business outcome. More appointments, better qualified leads, reduced churn, time saved, whatever it is, not the tools. Business owners just don't care if you use Claude or ChatGPT or something else. They care about the ROI, period.
So thinking about that approach, how does leading with those specific, quantifiable outcomes inherently de-risk the sales process for the client?
It makes it tangible. Focusing on clear ROI helps clients immediately see the profit potential or the cost savings, translating your service directly into their bottom line. All right, the final differentiator. This feels like the highest leverage skill, systems thinking. It's about your ability to engineer complete end-to-end solutions. Solutions that account for messy reality, human behavior, organizational politics, not just isolated technical workflows.
Yeah, let's go back to that law firm lead follow-up example. Initially, they just wanted an AI to maybe call new leads instantly when they came in.
Yeah.
The amateur builder would just build that single automation, task complete.
But the real problem, the underlying system, was broken. The attorneys were always in court. They weren't seeing the lead notification email for maybe 48 hours. And by that time, predictably, the hot lead had already found and hired a competitor. The automation itself wouldn't have solved the core issue.
Exactly. So the professional solution, the system solution, wasn't just automating a call, it was designing a whole new process. Like an immediate automated text confirmation goes to the lead saying, we got your info, an attorney will call soon.
Oh, what?
Then an instant Slack notification hits a channel the attorneys actually monitor constantly.
Plus, and this is crucial, building in that human accountability loop. If no attorney actively claims that lead and initiates contact within, say, 30 minutes, an escalation alert automatically pings the managing partner.
Right.
And you add a dashboard tracking everything: conversion rates, claim times, bottlenecks.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Imagine scaling that kind of system. A system with built-in accountability, ensuring consistent follow-up across dozens of law firm branches, maybe globally. That's real operational transformation, far beyond just a neat piece of tech.
And that really highlights why AI can't do this yet, right? AI can build a specific workflow if you prompt it clearly enough, but it can't design a complete business system that anticipates organizational politics, handles messy human edge cases, or builds in those essential accountability loops. That requires human insight.
And to manage the complexity and risk of designing these bigger, high-value systems, the really successful operators use what they call an exploration phase. This is a paid, upfront discovery period, typically maybe $5,000 to $7,000 for 2 to 4 weeks of focused work before the main build starts.
And that time is specifically used to validate the technical feasibility, maybe test tricky integrations with the client's ancient legacy software, and really confirm the ROI assumptions. It basically de-risks the whole project significantly for both the client and the builder before committing to the full, potentially expensive build.
So thinking about that exploration phase, what would you say is the single biggest hidden cost it actively helps prevent in these larger, more complex projects?
Oh, definitely costly scope creep. And maybe even worse, it prevents building systems that are technically impressive, but in the end, functionally useless for the actual business needs.
So stepping back, this whole paradigm shift feels pretty undeniable, doesn't it? Technical execution skills are rapidly being democratized. Strategy and deep business acumen are becoming the real protective moat. The future seems to belong to what we might call AI-leveraged operators.
And those 3 skills we unpacked are non-negotiable now: problem discovery, demand generation, and systems thinking. These are the skills that truly resist the economic pressures of commoditization because they require that uniquely human intelligence.
The market's already moving fast, and the trajectory seems crystal clear.
Hmm.
If you're currently spending your time just learning the nuances of yet another automation platform, maybe pause, ask yourself, is this skill I'm building going to be fundamentally more valuable next year or potentially less?
That perspective shift is everything right now.
So consider this your immediate call to action. Pick one expensive problem within one industry you know something about, and start practicing that discovery framework today. Ask those deeper questions. That really is the quickest path to ensuring your relevance and your value in this rapidly evolving AI economy.